Hey guys, so I'm just doing this right now just because everyone's out of the house and I'm trying to get these done whenever I can, just in case, like, I don't know, for some strange reason my schedule bunches up on Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, I'm going to do the second part right now, and it's going to be addressing indefensive voting, sort of. And this was the first part. In that first part, it had the it had that link, but that was the link that I addressed. I did not address the blog itself. In this part, I will be addressing the blog itself, and in the next video, I will be addressing the second part of that blog. So again, I have my script. I'll try not to read from it as much as possible, but I haven't practiced as much. A lot. So, Roderick Long, I start off with this quote. Another common argument, especially popular with economicists, is that voting is irrational because, barring the overwhelming unlikely possibility of the elections being decided by a single vote, the outcome will be the same, however, or whether one votes. Even if one's aim in voting is not to get one's candidate elected, but merely to increase the candidate's vote totals for strategic reasons, still, whether that result happens is independent of whether one personally votes or not. So why vote? But if that were a good argument against voting, it would be an equally good argument against contributing to any cooperative effort whose success depends on other people cooperating also. And so, for example, it would be an equally good argument against the libertarian activist, being a libertarian activist of any sort, since no one libertarian's activist contribution is likely to make the crucial difference as to whether libertarianism triumphs or not. Now, I think this argument fails because it falsely equivocates the weight of specific political actions against a state that anarchists have in their repertoire. It's not just about whether the action is practical, but is also moral, and actually applicable under libertarian theory of morality, which, as I said in my last video, it is not. Well then, should I this is long again. Well then, should I specialize in whichever one form of activism I think will make the greatest overall contribution? Should I focus on scholarly articles and forget blogging, or should I focus on blogging and forget scholarly articles? It seemed to me to make more sense to diversify. I think Long could have made a much better argument than this, and this strikes me as disingenuous, actually, although he's probably not purposely being disingenuous. You should obviously have many tactics towards liberty, but it does a libertarian no good if the idea is not morally coherent or practically applicable under libertarian theory. And so you should diversify, which is why I support peaceful direct action of all sorts: sit-ins, strikes, protests, march, education, handing out of leaflets, whatever. Peaceful civil disobedience, agorism, and dual power. Just because you give up on voting as a practical and moral choice does not mean you can focus on one strategy. Does not mean you must focus on one strategy, or that you are limiting yourself, and nor does it mean actually that you must diversify yourself, and in that diversity you must include bad tactics just for the sake of diversity, which I think is what Long is doing. But I also think voting, this is Long again. But I also think voting can be useful as a means of self-defense in the short run. And with the ultimate revolution, and while the ultimate revolution will be primarily from the bottom up, it will certainly go more smoothly and with less danger of a violent crackdown from a government desperate to maintain power, and we've got some support on the inside too. The agorist counter-argument to the state, something I've been constantly leveling against arguments for voting, is what Long is addressing here. And as I've already said, political action is no sort of self-defense. Agorism is a much more coherent type of political strategy. And yes, I do not consider political philosophy like anarcho-capitalism or individualist anarchism, despite it having a class theory, since it was just a rehashing of what most anarchists believe anyway, and was nothing if but a rehashing, but an interesting rehashing. And it'll be more defensive than voting shall ever be. As for having people on the inside, if they're on the inside, to begin with, chances are they won't support the revolution, and either way it's not worth the effort, as I've constantly said. So, like I said, this was a shorter video, but this was just addressing some of the practical and moral arguments remaining in the blog. If you notice, the link that I had last time was from 10 years ago, so this was in like 2008, so this was almost 10 years later. So he was basically just reevaluating his points, and so yeah, this will be. I think I might do the next video next, the next video next, and I just want to get this all out of the way to make sure that I can keep going with this series as soon as possible, and that's about it. So, see you guys in the next video.